It's the one and only Peedi Crakk Cocaine, man. We live up in UE Radio. We recording this shit. We just did the whole Crakk File mixtape right here. And we about to record a whole nother joint, Crakk King. The first edition of Crakk King. Got my nigga Scrap in the building. Scrap, say what up.
What's up? How y'all doing?
Alright, that'd be quite enough. Hey, on some real shit, we in here, man. We just recording, making new shit. Shout out to Tim. Shout out to UE Radio, man. Shout out to UE Studios and shit. Shout out to Mike Knox and fucking Kyrie Bay and everybody that's affiliated. My nigga Val right here on the camera. You don't see him, but the nigga, he rocking with us. And we just getting busy, man. We promoting this new Crakk File 4 mixtape. As you can see, I'm not used to promoting shit at all. You know what I mean? Shit might sound real pre-coerced or, you know what I mean? I'm not with all this shit. But hold up, we got some new shit for y'all. Let me see, what is this right here? What we got right here?
Shorty told me I'm her
gotta turn this up one time. Hold up.
Shorty told me I'm her favorite.
Yeah, whoa.
Shorty told me I'm her favorite.
Whoa.
Shorty told me I'm her favorite.
Whoa.
Shorty told me I'm her favorite.
Whoa.
Shorty told me I'm her favorite. Whoa. Shorty told me I'm her favorite. Pay that girl $100 bill. She said thanks, Rich. I got girls all around the world. Told me I'm her favorite. I told her keep it real. You look a little wasted, look like you had a pill. I say look, that's the ace, but I'm playing never Earl. Crakk King, and I'm back in that ass like a maxi pad. All these gold rappers should have had a Magnum bag. Got these hoes going crazy in my nasty bag.
Personally, the nigga that runs this do not like that verse. He don't like that verse. I love it. I love it personally.
This is what he's talking about right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I like the
Boss
verse.
man, UE.
I like the verse.
Tim, he like it now. You know Tim don't want too much
100.
camera.
He
He just
keep
whenever he dip in, that's it. Don't never just put it on him. Whenever he dip in and out. Just let him dip in and out. But come here, let's show the booth real quick. Show my little
Tell him
section
how
shades.
it's
No,
on
no,
screen.
don't show my, don't sell the section shade.
No, don't get it. That's right. Keep it funny.
Alright. You gotta chop a lot of this shit up. Yo, Vel funny as shit. Hey yo, alright, yo. Basically, you wanna come in here with me? Or nah, you straight back there? Hey look, basically, this is where everything going down at right here for me. I'm representing UE real hard, man, the studio, you know what I mean? Crack Daddy don't sign to nobody. We all just looking, we just straight looking for just to put our own shit out. We not trying to rock with nobody's shit. Unless you straightening a nigga out real crazy, but right now we not rocking with nobody, man. I like independence. I like to be able to create my shit, make my shit, pick my own beats, shoot my own videos, just shoot shit how I want, do whatever I want to do. You know what I mean? So this is where we can do this shit at, right here at UE. So it's all love, man. So this how I go down right here, Vel. Vel, we gotta take you in the cut, Vel. We gotta take, come on, Vel, follow me, Vel. I know where to take you, man. That's what it is. Come on, Vel. Nah, this what's going on right now, man. We putting out nothing but just music, man. Straight music, good music, man. We just dropped the Crakk File 4. Shit crazy. We getting crazy response on that shit. And we just trying to just keep it moving, man. Just dumb music, dumb music, dumb music. Cause without the music, then nothing else matters to me, man. The fans don't appreciate nothing but good music, so I'm just gonna keep giving them good music. And whatever companies fuck with us, but I ain't fuck. And I ain't tripping right now about all of that. Straight music, we just doing music, man. Alright, so Peedi Crakk, UE Radio, UE Studio. We in this bitch. Shout out my nigga Scrap, everybody, Kai, nigga Vel on the camera. He had to chop this shit up real crazy. He getting mad because I keep running up on him. He backing up. Shout out to R5, you know what I mean? AKA, I ain't gonna tell you what I'm gonna call what his AKA is. Shout out to Kyrie Bay, man. Shout out to Tim, Big Tim. We in this bitch, man. Oh yeah, Mike Knox too, man. Shout out to Mike Knox. Shout out to Oskino locked up too. Oh, what up? Oh, yeah, oh. Love you, man. Love you to death, oh. Straight up, man. We ain't, you know what I'm saying? It ain't what it's supposed to be right now, but nigga, everybody love you, you know what I mean? So let's do it, man. Peedi Crakk Cocaine. Game still the same, nothing changed. Let's go.